So are you ready?
Let's
Okay,
go for
so
it. Yeah.
yeah, brilliant. So first question, how are you? How are things going? And I just wanted to tell the viewers what you do.
Okay. I've been running my business now for just over a year, and I'm still quite new to everything. Things are going well at the moment, which is great. I'm kind of what I do basically is that I tutor online for students, for children aged between roughly about 7 and 11. I run a weekly online reading club. And I also tutor one to one as well. So, considering I'm only a year in, I'm really pleased with how things are going at the moment.
That's great. What's your business actually called?
So, it's called Suzy's Reading Club. I wanted to keep it just really simple. And I do what I say I do. It's all about reading.
It's all
So, it's reading support.
That's great. Okay, so you say you do one-to-ones and you've done other things as well as part of the club. So tell us a bit about some of the other things that you do as part of the club that kind of, captures and engages with your audience.
Okay. I mean, at the heart of it is my one-to-one support, I guess. So I tutor about 7 students every week, one-to-one, and help with whatever type of reading support they need. So I've got a whole breadth of students who need support with sometimes with phonics, with reading fluency, mainly with comprehension. That seems to be the biggest thing that children need support with. Um, my reading clubs run once a week, and that's a group reading club. So I have about 10 students in a group. We read a book together, which involves doing activities, fun activities. So it's not like a classroom session, it's not like a school English lesson. It's all about reading motivation and enjoyment. As well as that, I do one-offs, so things like parties for World Book Day, um, other events, other literacy events as well, and anything else. I've got one coming up actually that's before World Book Day. I'm doing like a pre-World Book Day party to try and get sort of children in the mood for World Book Day during half term, and I've managed to get hold of a new author to come along and chat about her brand new book that's coming out.
Oh,
So I'm always looking for opportunities to, it's all about reading, but opportunities to maybe divert just a little bit and add something a bit extra to my reading club.
yeah, I think what you do is fantastic in terms of doing something extra because sometimes reading can be off-putting for a lot of
Mm.
children, especially boys. Have you got many boys in your
Yeah, interestingly, yeah, a lot of my one-to-ones boys, and they're a real mixture. One-to-ones are sometimes students who do need that kind of little bit of a push in terms of motivation and enjoyment. But I've also got one-to-ones of students who just love reading and just want an opportunity to really challenge themselves that little bit further. So I have a real mixture, if you like, a whole breadth of students who do struggle with reading enjoyment and do struggle with reading, and ones at the other end of the scale who don't really struggle with anything. They just want that challenge and that motivation. So it's a really interesting job to have, really, because no one day is the same. No one student is like another.
Yeah, that sounds great. And you've just mentioned that word job because your
Hmm.
reading club is not your full-time
No.
career. So can you tell me about what you do? I'll call it the bread and butter, the bread and butter job. We all got one. And
Yeah,
I'm
I've
very
got
keen to
lots.
learn it.
Yeah, I mean, I've got lots of different hats, I guess. Yeah, my main hat is I'm a librarian in a high school, and I have responsibility for literacy across the school as well. It's a librarian job, but with a literacy element to it as well. So that's what I do day to day. So reading, I do 24/7, really.
You love
It's all about
reading.
reading.
All about reading. We got to have the
All
reading
about
going
reading.
on. So, bearing in mind that you love reading, are you reading anything yourself at the moment? Just
Do you
yeah.
know what? My book is literally, I should have grabbed it just there because my New Year's resolution this year was to, ironically, read more myself. Because I read a lot of, children's fiction. Like I've been doing some planning this morning, and the books around me are, books that children read, which is fantastic. Charlie Cook's favourite book, one of my favourites. But as well as that, I wanted to up my game in terms of reading adult fiction because that's gone by the by a bit just recently. So I've joined a local reading group,
Brilliant.
which I'm really looking forward to. And we've got our first meeting tonight. So I've just finished our first book, which is just over there. Otherwise, I could have shown it you, which is a thriller. And something, I like thrillers, but something a bit more challenging for me personally as well. So I think it's good to keep that reading element yourself as well. You need to practice what you preach,
Oh,
essentially.
absolutely, absolutely. You can't sort of like inspire others if you're not doing it yourself sometimes.
No.
Okay, so interestingly enough, your entrepreneurial kind of career didn't start with what you're, I believe now, because you speak with such passion, which your passion is reading and supporting young people to enjoy that element. But that wasn't how it started, was it, in terms of doing something outside of your normal day-to-day job? What did you do?
Yeah,
Just,
for a couple of years, I ran a bakery business, so a cake making business. So I'd done that for probably about 3 years before I started my reading club business. Loved what I did then. I wouldn't say I had the same drive and passion that I do now. I think what I do now aligns with kind of my core values a lot more than my bakery business. But I would say that my bakery business gave me a really good kind of grounding in things like social media, in promotion and marketing, which I would not have had for my reading club had I not done that background work with my other business, if you like. It's just that now I match two parts of my life together. So I match my day-to-day work with my business, and the two align together a lot more than they did previously.
and that's key, isn't it? I suppose it's, if you're going to drive something forward, because 3 years is a long time in business.
Mm,
Some people fold way
mm,
before that. And you had that, you like to bake, and you thought, let's start this as a business. But you said that part of your life has actually impacted and give you the skills and the knowledge to now leave that behind, but go on to something new. And I think that's really key. And now at the moment, well, currently, and I think for the foreseeable future, what you do now kind of aligns with
mm.
who you are, with your
Yeah.
values. And I think that's really essential in business, because you've got to get up every day and drive that business forward. But it doesn't mean that you can't take skills from other places to actually
Mm.
now, make that journey a lot easier for you.
Yeah.
It's not easiest, but it's easier.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, my lovely. So, how do you ensure that you keep it productive, that you drive your business forward? What do you do on a daily basis, weekly basis? Some tips that you can share?
I think, like you say, I think essentially at the core of it is the fact that you're passionate about what you do. So I want to drive my business. I don't wake up and think, oh, I need to do that today. I just automatically do it. So maybe I'm quite lucky in the sense that I feel naturally driven to do it. I'm quite a driven, focused person anyway. I think being very organized is essential. So like for my one-to-ones, I have a routine when I prepare each week so that I know that I'm well prepared, because obviously I want to deliver, the best that I can to the students that I've got. And because I work in a school, things are really busy in term time, but then obviously I have school holidays, which is great. So I quite often use time in school holidays to do all those extra bits and pieces that I don't have time to do in term time. But I suppose on a day-to-day basis, I make sure that I post on social media as much as I can. Easier in school holidays, not so much in term time, but I do a lot of scheduling. So on a Sunday, I will quite often schedule for the week at least one, maybe two posts every day. And then I'll post on top of that spontaneously when things just naturally occur to me. So I make sure that my social media presence is always there, because I know that if I let it drop, it impacts on my business quite directly, really, for me. The Facebook is my main means of communicating with my customers, really. So I do that every day. I make sure that I post in the groups where I advertise every day. I make sure that I respond to all my messages as timely as I can, because I think
Yeah,
that's really important, particularly nowadays. People expect responses quite quickly. They don't expect to wait 24 hours for a response.
I think, yeah, you've got to respond to the people who kind of use your service really quickly, because obviously
Mm.
there's other services out there that,
Mm.
it's a business. There's other businesses out there that maybe potentially do not
Yeah.
exactly what you do, but some similar
Yeah.
lines.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
competitive. Yeah.
yeah, and the way you've like taken social media. Social media is so important, but the way you schedule it is fantastic because it does take up a lot of time. So you work a lot on the business, which is fantastic, but also in the business. But what do you do for yourself? Because there's work-life balance. You've got your full-time job. I know you're a mom, and you've got a life. So what do you do for yourself to make sure that you can still do all these things
It can be
effectively?
tricky, I won't lie. It's tricky to balance everything. It's tempting, particularly with my type of business. I could probably work on it all day, every day. I really could. And I know that it would benefit from that. But like you say, taking time out for yourself is important too. Like joining up for this reading club. I know it's reading, but it's going to be a sociable, enjoyable thing for me. I'm going to the cinema this afternoon to watch The Colour Purple, which I'm really excited about because
Jealous
it's
am
Alice
I.
Walker. And it looks incredible.
Yeah.
I quite often go to the cinema. We saw One Life last weekend or the weekend before with Anthony Hopkins. I find that really works for me because I can't go on my phone. I can't do anything. I've got to just sit there and turn off. And I always feel much better afterwards for doing something like that. In the summer, hopefully, I'll get a bit more active and get out. I have to say, I'm a fair weather walker. I don't like the cold. But things like
Not do I. I hear you there. Not do I. I'm a proper hot
Uh,
girl. Hot
yeah,
girl.
exactly. But yeah, I try and what I suppose what I do is I try and I even schedule stuff in on my calendar on my phone, which reminds me to do it nowadays, which says stop. Just stop and have an hour off. Just stop and do this. Just stop and do that. And seeing friends is great for me as well. That always works for me because again, you transport it somewhere else. Even just going for a coffee with somebody, is great.
It gives you that downtime, doesn't it? Then to kind of switch off and
Yeah,
sort of give input into you because you're input
yeah.
into kind of a lot of others, all through the day, through the weekends, etc. So it's really key.
Hmm.
So, I met you really through the Cottage Club.
Yeah.
I reached out to you in another group or something, and you reached out back out to me. So that's all about making that connection. But can you just tell us a bit how the Cottage Club has supported you in your journey, in your new journey, because it wasn't easy.
Yeah. I mean, I think I met you at a time when I was moving from my cakes to my tutoring. So maybe 18 months ago, something like that, probably now. And I remember us having a chat about cakes and whether I felt that, I wanted to carry on with that. And we talked about my new business. So, on a personal level, you've been very supportive of me and helped me basically when I was first starting my business and then been a bit of a cheerleader, I would say, since. And I've tried to repay that back because I think that's really important. I think, like you say, these connections are really important. Particularly, if you genuinely get on with someone, which I think we
Yeah,
do.
we do.
So,
We do.
having that connection is really important. I love it.
Yeah, it really is. We've met outside of the
Yeah.
business just to see, but connectivity is so key when you are a home-based business owner
Yeah.
because sometimes you feel you're doing it in silo, you feel that you're doing it alone, you feel, and sometimes those dips,
Mm.
you need that kind of cheerleader,
Yeah.
that kind of person to say, what you're doing is on the right track. These dips will come regardless through
Yeah.
life, don't they? They come regardless. So it's really key that you've got that you got your tribe, your squad that can help you. So I'm really, really grateful that, you've allowed me to be part of your journey, to be honest. Um, because it's personal, isn't it? But what we
Yeah.
want to do is make sure that that what you're giving out to others, you're serving others, is going to serve you as well in some respects.
Mm.
Thank you for that. So, just last question, really. Yeah, I've really enjoyed listening to what you've got to say, and you sound like you're in charge, which is what you need with your business. And it sounds like you wake up with purpose. You don't wake up just by accident. There's something that you need to do, and that you've got to move forward. And you found your purpose, you found your calling, your values all align. It's all there. So how do people get in touch with you? Okay, because if they want to get in, if they've got a young person who doesn't
Mm.
like reading so much, but your support could maybe bring that fire alive. What? How would they get in touch with you?
Probably the easiest way is on Facebook. So if you just look up Suzy's Reading Club and you'll see me on there with my daughter. That's probably the easiest thing. Or you can email me at Suzy's Reading Club suze@gmail.co.uk. And if you find your way to there, just let me know what kind of support you're after. Like I say, I support all types of students, so it might be that they're struggling, or it might be quite the obvious, the opposite, that they want the challenge. So yeah, certainly. Even when I'm full up, if you like, because at the moment I'm quite full of one-to-ones, I still offer one-to-one sessions. I still offer extra support during term times. I still offer just one-off literacy sessions as well. So it's always worth getting in touch.
That's great. So have a fantastic afternoon. I'm so jealous you're going to see Colour Purple, but that's on the to-do list.
Yeah.
So yeah, so thank you so much, and I'll see you again soon.
Yes, you're
Take
very
care.
welcome.
Keep
Nice to chat.
striving. Take
Thank you,
care.
and you. Take
Bye.
care. Bye.